Blessings and good morning, everyone.
Greetings, wonderful people all across the world and all the levels that we know are with us too.
And blessings and greetings to all of our standing ones, including
Yes.
the elder behind me, who I call the dreaming tree.
And I wanted to be before this tree. This is Ejna Fleury, coming to you from Aurora, Colorado, and with my great honor to be here to bring forth this wonderful announcement that we're making.
My name is
So I'm
Danielea Castell, and I'm coming to you from the unceded territory of the Quatsino Nation, Vancouver Island North, on the west coast of Canada. I am next to Pacific Mother Ocean, and very, very happy to be here with Ejna to share this announcement we have.
So I'm going to do this opening prayer for all of us and for this ceremony. Beloved Source, Creator, Unshi, Grandmother, Tunkashala, Grandfather, here we are with our prayers, our open hearts, our gratitude as we gather to honor the tree elders, and we invite and invoke the blessings and the guidance and the inspiration of our ancestors, all the directions, and our great Mother Earth, Ushimika, and all her inhabitants, all of the elements and elementals and the tree and plant and animal nations, water, earth, wind, fire. Be with us this day and walk with us, not only this day, but throughout our lives. Amatakwiase. You're muted, Danielea.
It doesn't show that. You can't hear me?
We can hear you now.
Thank you. On this day when we honor fresh, clean air and the sacred relationship between the tree nation, air, and ourselves, I'd like to honor this sacred breath of life. And Brother Wind. We welcome you, sacred air.
So we're going to move now to just a brief history of how we got started with all of this. And my beginning was when I was 4 years old, and in South Dakota, a little girl in the middle of winter, and the trees were bare, and I looked up. Oh, and they were kind of scary. And then I went to visit my auntie, Pauline, in Escondido, California, and there was a fruiting plum tree in her backyard, a young plum tree, And I fell in love with that tree. And I thought that tree was mine. And my auntie said, that's your tree. And you know, through a lot of the travails of my childhood, I would think I had a tree relative. So this relationship has been long-standing. And most recently, there's a great redwood on the beside the Lake Zurich in Switzerland, and we are in love with one another. So it's natural that we respond. Danielea, your turn.
When I was a child, I had 3 friends. One was a girl my age named Donna Anderson. And then I had a grandmother elder, a tree elder, who was a willow tree at the bottom of my street, along with the creek. Its English name is Highland Creek, and it flowed into Lake Ontario. So I had dreamed for years of a grandmother coming to teach me how to be human and how to manage my gifts, and I'd imagined that it was a human grandmother, and then of course it was the grandmother willow at the bottom of the street who called me. So my journey with trees began as a serious apprenticeship in 2008 in Haida Gwaii when they told me who I am, and I set out to understand how to be an interbeing ambassador by sitting with them. And they taught me how to sit still and slow down and communicate heart to heart. And so when I came here to the north coast of Vancouver Island and to answer the call from Mother Ocean about the partnership ceremony, I discovered that there were 14 elder trees here, all of different spirits and characters. And through meeting them and listening to them and learning with them grew the idea of what if we lived in a world where the tree elders in every community were known, were recognized, were acknowledged, and people came to sit with them. And it was a common sight to walk by one and see someone speaking heart to heart, eyes closed, asking questions, sharing their heart story. And so the Global Tree Elder Movement idea, the vision, grew out of these elders where I'm living here. And following the completion of the partnership ceremony and World Unity Week, Spirit gave me the green light to begin this invitation to us as a world. And I was joined by Ejna, who shares her love with her trees. And so together we have 2 of what will be billions of roots to the one tree that bring us together. All races, all cultures, all species, with our sacred tree elders at the center of our communities.
So we're going to play this video for you, which is one of the responses. One of the responses that has come as part of this movement. An invitation from the trees. From out of the cosmos comes the earth. From out of the earth come the trees. And from the trees we hear this great invitation, this great beckoning, this great heart song. Cherished humankind, eons do we love you, burgeoning across the lands. Infinite is our patience in you, with you, in all that you do, undo, subdue, and ignore. Steadfast in our splendor, holding stalwart in your blows, holding the truth of majesty before your very heart and eyes. You, most precious relatives, come sit with us in ceremony now. Bring yourselves, each one of you, your family, relatives, friends, foe and enemies alike, red, yellow, black, and white. Bring your hearts, your minds, your inner being in readiness to listen and hear. Bring all your hopes, your cares, your fears, concerns and woes, dreams and prayers, transgressions and heroic deeds too. We beckon you now. We have so much to share. Come sit with us and receive, so that we may all restore and heal. We begin a whole new journey together.
So just taking a moment to breathe with our sacred tree relatives and receive that message from them. Taking it right down into our roots. Thank you, dear Ejna, for being open to receiving this beautiful transmission from our tree elders. I'm now going to share about a transmission that I received. Thank you, Becky. In the early winter of 2019, I asked the universe to give me an original melody that I could record for the Om Tara mantra. The mantra is in Sanskrit and composed of variations of Tara's name that invoke the energetic frequency of compassion. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Tu Re, So Ha. One Saturday morning in the spring, I found myself chanting the mantra with a melody I didn't recognize. I thought to myself, at last, it has come. But when I asked if this was the melody that I'd been waiting for, I was shown an image of a grove of elder Douglas fir trees who live a few blocks from my home. I quickly packed my yoga mat, my Shriti box, and my drum and headed down the street. As I gazed into the grove from the south entrance, Grandfather's sun appeared through the cool, cloudy sky and laid down a strip of warm sunshine in front of me. With a grateful nod, I rolled out my yoga mat, placed the instruments on either side of my feet, and I stretched out on my back and promptly went to sleep. When I awakened, I sat up and reached for my Shriti box. I opened it to a C and G drone and began to sing the Om Tara mantra. Note for note, I repeated the exact same melody over and over, feeling my connection and joy with the elder fir trees around me. It was soon apparent that the trees were feeding me this melody and that they had a vision to go with it. In my mind's eye, I saw the line of women in ceremonial garb walking around the outer edge of the grove, singing and drumming in slow measured steps. When they began to circle for a second time, women randomly left the processional line and moved towards a specific tree. It seemed that they were offering the chant to tree as an invitation to dance. Each exchange between woman and tree was unique. One woman stood a short distance away and sang to tree, her face alight with great respect and reverence. Another woman touched and stroked her tree like a lover. One woman twirled around, her arms wove in and out among the hanging branches. while yet another woman stood perfectly still, eyes closed, forehead pressed to tree's trunk, while she hummed the ancient melody as if in a trance. As I watched these women and repeated the chant to myself, I began to understand the magic and meaning encoded in the circular melody. Just like the infinity symbol, the end becomes the beginning, and singing this ancient melody reweaves the infinite and eternal love bond that lives, however latent, between humans and trees on Mother Earth. The whole transmission ended with the images fading in my mind and the final understanding that the Douglas fir trees had given me this melody not for my own benefit, but so that I could share it widely in the human world, and this bond song would be heard in urban forests once again.
So as this beautiful song resonates with us, I'm going to now lead us in a guided meditation. You can have the music fade.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So these times, it's beautiful. It's really beyond magic. It's this enunciation of our sacred relationship with all, that the trees are reaching out to us through Danielea, through myself, through many, many others. So let us have an experience here together with the trees. And Becky, if you could admit the people while I am doing this, because I probably will have my eyes closed most of the time. Thank you.
I'll jump in.
Okay. So just let yourselves be comfortable and take the deep breaths with the spark of the divine that's in every breath. Every breath brings in the light of life. Every exhale, you breathe out the breath of life. And the breath of life is breathing us all. So gently, we don't even have to remember to breathe because we are being breathed. And the trees are breathing with us and exchanging just the right elements to us, with us, for us, by us, in communion. And let your being, your attention be with your inner realms in relaxation and with the edge of your imagination. And some of us, the imagination, as you sit there, it comes automatically. Some, you just generate your own imagery. And let your imagination be with the trees, or a tree, the trees. Feel your body start to sway, because the trees are also partnering with the air and our breath. And our breath and the trees were swaying together. And let the trees just touch you in whatever way. You may want to remember a tree or a grove or a tree which you would like to honor. Invite tree, oh tree spirits, be with us now in your nurturance and your sustenance. You remind us of our ancientness, your ancientness, your ability to be strong, growing from seed. Let yourself receive from the trees, your tree, your grove. What messages, what teaching, what sound, what inspiration do you have for us, O tree nations? You are inviting us, and we are here to receive and listen. Bring that message, bring your experience, your feeling deep. Let it resonate into your body, into your bones, to your organs, to your legs, your trunk, shoulders, your arms. It's bringing us back to this connection. This connection is never gone. It's always with us. And so even though your attention and your focus may be other places, you are always connected to the trees and the magic of the breath, and that the trees are breathing with us always, always. The majesty and the beauty, the calmness and the strength. And we are walking trees. We are able to move. Let your body move. Let your body move now. Sway, sway, sway. Move your arms. Let's bring this tree relationship, this arboreal relationship. Ah, yes. Ah, yeah. Ah, yes. Because the trees trees are uniting with us in ways we don't even yet fully know. Because this is actually an initiation. This is an initiation moment. Because we're in resonance together. And in this resonance together, we can come together in ceremonies to honor the trees, and they are going to be giving us guidance also. So I'd like you to just bring your awareness, deep breaths, and tighten your muscles and ground. Yes, ground this time together. Ah, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Tree nations, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Takuya-se. Thank you for this time of resonance together, this time of a communion time. I want to take a couple of breaths, and then we're going to share about this with one another for a period of time. And it's been my great honor and pleasure to be with you in this way. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, dear Ejna. Thank you, beloved standing ones.
Yes.
Who have come forward in heart bond with each of you in this moment. So I'm going to invite us to, Becky, we're going to go onto gallery, and we're going to invite people to raise their digital hand. Give each of us who wish an opportunity to just share briefly what you might have heard or felt or experienced in that meditation, that connection. And or what is that call that you hear to participate in GTEM, as we love the acronym, which is spelled GTEM, but of course in French it means I love you. And it's so great to say and think about our tree elders, because we do. And now we're taking that love into action on behalf of them and ourselves. So yes, does anyone have something that they would like to share? Bridget.
You're still,
You can
thank
unmute
you.
yourself.
Yeah, there, she's unmuted.
Thank you for your assistance with that. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Thank you for this beautiful opportunity. I was brought deeply to a place where several decades ago, I was held by a tree as I cried and released my grief around the end of a relationship, the end of a marriage to a very beautiful being. And I felt the bond with him release and the bond with nature begin very at the deepest level. And as I cried and I held the tree, had my arms wrapped around the tree, I did feel the tree holding me as I cried. And I'm so grateful to be back in touch with that. That was at Pumpkin Hollow Farm in upstate New York when I was living in New York City. So I thank that tree by the little creek. And when I was invited to remember being a walking tree, I felt my own arms as if they were like the limbs of the madrone, the majestic madrone out here, that when the bark peels off, as it regularly does, making room for the fresh bark, the limbs are so smooth, like a baby's bottom, and the limbs look like the most beautiful dancers' arms. And I fell in love with Madrone when I came to Oregon in the 90s. And my arms felt like they were swaying and moving with the tree. I felt the tree. I felt like I'm part tree, I guess. I don't know how to.
Yay! Thank you, Bridget. Thank you,
Yes.
Thank
Bridget.
you. Thanks for
Yes.
hearing me.
Yes.
Yay! Yay!
Yes.
Beautiful. And really what you've highlighted, Bridget, is one of the things that Ejna and I, talked about when we first were exploring this is just, trees are healers. They're master healers. And they're incredible listeners. They're listeners to share our hearts, right? So thank you, Bridget,
Yes.
for sharing.
And we are indeed trees also. Yes, very much so. Yes. Thank you, Bridget, so much.
Someone else.
While you're kind of thinking or seeing if you want to share, I want to share about this because I was trusting. I awoke this morning and I've been, of course, preparing for this, and the trees were encouraging that I trust so deeply to do this with the trees. So I wasn't like planning what this meditation would be. So this was a meditation that was in harmony with the trees. So and the messages that were coming were of the great embrace of love. I am love, you are love, we are love, and we are going to support you and work with you. Absolutely. So thank you, and I'd love to hear from you, Linda, very much.
Okay, I pressed okay. So I have I've always loved the beauty of trees and the difference of all of the trees. But I found through this meditation, I came to realize that the places on Earth that really spoke to me viscerally were the wide open rock expanses. And so that's air and the wind and rock. And I just felt like crawling over the rocks. And, but I also, out of the rocks, were coming these beautifully shaped trees, shaped by the wind, shaped by the rock that embraced their roots, shaped by my even being there to see them and to hold them in me. So I wasn't identifying directly with the trees, but they were part of my wholeness. And what I also, a friend of mine just sent this picture to me last week, and I just like have been hanging on to this picture, and I'm going to hold it up, and I hope that you can see it. And
Yes, we can. Yes, we
and
can.
I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
figure out, when we imagine trees, we're looking at the life of trees, the fullness of their growth and their livingness. But why is it that this image is so important to me? I have no idea yet, but I'm receptive to what this image is trying to tell me. And does it mean, do I project into it and say, well, this means that I'm towards the end of my life and I'm like on the way out, so I don't have things that are growing on me, but I'm still here. My roots are still, I'm still standing. I'm a part of the whole cycle of trees. And I think that this meditation, this time of being with you all today, is helping me go further into this image, which feels to me very, the word is sentient. This image is sentient for me. And it's still teaching me. So I can be sitting here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, looking out at trees on the distance and not with the trees like you all have the fortune to be with, maybe closer. But I have trees in me, and people send me pictures like this that make me, so there's so many ways of connecting with trees. But basically, it's me connecting with myself and then latching on to an image that somebody sends to me through a computer. That's all I have to say right now. Thank you. And that helped me. That really has helped me to be able to put words on this, because I've been just sitting with this image right over here. I've been looking at it since the day he sent this picture to me. And I thought, what's going on here? So I've taken another step in what's going on here. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, really what it shows, Linda, is the flow of synchronicity. You received that picture of the trees and you were brought to the rocks because the trees have that capacity. When you're open, then the openness, which the trees are making possible. And so it's changing your whole world even. So thank you for sharing. It was so beautiful. And the flow of that synchronicity that you could be bringing this teaching. It's just, I love it. Thank you very, very much.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Pam.
And I'd love to, just before Pam speaks, Ejna, I'd like to just respond a little bit to Linda. Thank you so much. I would like to just acknowledge that you and Pam, who is about to speak, and Sharon is here, and Rita and Bridget, many of you, I wanted to give thanks because they've been showing up in the listening field. It's a space in one of the ways, again, that we can communicate directly with our nature elders, especially our trees. And so I just want to acknowledge those who have already been seeding and populating the field with their love and their connection. And I also loved how when you talked about the image and the distance, that one of the things that's so wonderful about being innately connected with the trees, as the Om Tare tree melody showed, is that we don't need to be directly with them in order to be able to communicate with them. So there's no time and space in consciousness, and that's where we are so wedded with these beloved standing ones. So thank you so much for continuing to be fully human, fully tree human. I love it. I love it. And I welcome Pamela. Pamela is the founder of the Tree Diaries. It's a long time Facebook group of tree lovers. And welcome, Pamela. I look forward to what you're going to share today.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm so grateful for this gathering. I feel as though so many things that have been building up have come to fruition already in the time we've spent together, and that I've found my tribe. Like, my first important relationship with a tree was about 25 years ago, and I've been working, communing with them very in a focused way for maybe 12 or 15 years now. And joining many of you in the listening field over the past year or so. Well, all of this year, every month this year. And I've been hearing my personal messages related to a deeper attunement with all of nature and specific nature beings. And it was a mystery to me as to how that would happen, what it would be like, but it was something I prayed for every day. And in the last listening field, the message was to daily practice, to attune daily, you know. And I've been doing that this month and developing my skills a bit. But during the meditation, it went to another level where I was working with a tree that lives in Prospect Park in Brooklyn that had come forward specifically to partner with me for the global tree elder movement. It's not a tree I know very well, but it's, you know, trees value specific location, and this tree is located near a very popular entrance to the park. So the community is accessible to the community in a way that many other trees are not. And it's large. It's maybe 6 feet in diameter, which is unusual for Brooklyn. We don't have so many extremely old trees. So I was with this tree in the meditation and came into resonance in a new way, in a not new way, maybe just more advanced or deeper or more completely. And I'm just so moved by the potential we have here and the tone that Ejna and Danielea have set. I am so in alignment with. And the trees have been telling me for years, tell us what you want. We are here to help you. We are your partners. Together we can accomplish so much. You have no idea. And that's a message today as well. But it's this coming into resonance with the tree elders that makes this possible, this partnership. It's as though we've come together again, like we were created to work together in this way, and that we're finally rediscovering this partner. This is more than a partnership. It's like we are two halves of a whole. So thank you.
Again, just breathing and taking a few moments to allow all we've heard to reverberate and integrate.
We'll take one more share and then we'll be able to move on because there's more to come. So we'd love to hear from you, Shauna.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. I've been going to some of the listening fields, and normally there's a box elder tree that, well, I have a relationship with, and I can sit right in the center of the trunk, and the leaves totally surround me. It's like a little special enclosure. But today, I was drawn to an elm tree in our yard, and we have some old elm trees, and this is the oldest one. And it does have some branches and limbs that have kind of died and kind of started, I don't know, to fall. They haven't come off the tree, but they kind of hang. And I have felt this tree nudge me before to get some help to kind of trim this. And it costs quite a bit of money to get the tree people to come out and do that kind of work. So it was interesting today. What came through is that this tree would like me to do what I can to remove these dead limbs before winter. And I'm supposing that's because there could be storms with wind that could, these limbs could fall and cause more damage to the tree. So it was a different kind of message today. And yesterday in our session with Danielea, reflecting on our relationship with the nature elders, what came through was this gratitude for friendship and connection through the nature elders, and also the message that we are here with each other for each other. So I commit to doing what I can for this tree before winter. Thank you.
Yay. And really, thank you, Shauna. It speaks to the sacred reciprocity, which is really at the root, word intended, root of our relationship, that giving and receiving. And certainly that's a practice for me. I always say to them, you know, if there's a boon that I can do for you, please, you know, make it known to me in words if you can, but images and sensations are fabulous too. So thank you, Shauna. And yeah, this brings us now to more practical a viewpoint around GTEM.
Yeah, this is the next steps portion. Maybe we could just focus only on the slide, Becky. That would probably work good. Thank you. Because then it might be easier to see. Yeah, thank you. Beautiful.
So, Ejna, I think I just want to start this by saying that one of the things that Ejna and I have been discovering is, as I mentioned earlier, we all have our own branch on the tree. We have our own path to the one tree. We have our own route to it. However, whatever language you want to put to it. So, really, GTEM, movement feels the best term for it because you are going to have your own call that you're going to hear from your own tree elders or from your community, right, of humans and brothers and sisters. So some of the ways that we list here that you can get involved are just ones that have come to us. Ceremony, you've heard already, bringing the community together of all different races and cultures to create a special ceremony for a single tree elder. Another way that you can get involved is just identify and find out where are all the tree elders in your community. Some of them will be on public land, some of them will be on private land. So these are a couple of ways. Ejna, a few more?
Yes, and whether you are already involved with Indigenous communities locally to you, that many or most of them already have relationships with tree elders or tree groves, stands, but this would be a beautiful way to bridge this relationship, because in most places where tribes live, there's still huge prejudice and non-communication, non-relationship. So I think it's a brilliant stand, pun intended, that the trees are taking, that if people go to Indigenous people, say, oh, we want to be part of the global tree elder movement, and let's get together and honor this tree, these trees. So this would be, it could be a movement of communities coming together. And even if they're not Indigenous, your own families, just like us, some of you had a totally fresh experience or expanding experience with the tree. The tree, the minute you start this, the trees are already working with us. So it's a beautiful way, for even families to heal, or communities, no matter what kind of community it could be. So we have, so that's a couple other ways that you could do this. Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing is, we presented this to an indigenous or to a tribal group, and they discovered that they wanted to do more of their own healing internally before they reached out to other communities. So the healing nature of nature, the healing relationship is really presenting itself in a profound way. So we really want to spread this word far and wide. It looks pretty simple, but the spiritual force activation behind this is very powerful, very powerful. So we want to encourage people to join and to take this risk, because the trees are actually, just like Linda, it's going to work that way a lot of times in unexpected ways.
So right now we're just, as you can see on the slide, the sort of the subtitle for GTEM is to recognize and honor tree elders as community wisdom keepers, advisors, healers, and life artists. And the purpose for that is not only so that the exchange and the reciprocity can happen between the humans and their tree elders, but also it's for the tree's protection. Imagine living in a community where everybody knows that these elders are sacred. They embody things that don't exist anywhere else on the earth, and therefore no one would ever think about chopping them down just to build a road. They would build around it, of course, right? So again, it's changing the paradigm and changing the perception is part of what we're doing in education. So some of the other things on the slide, so invited to identify and map where the tree elders live in your local area. I mean, that's just a path that it could be one single path that leads you. And imagine the humans you're going to meet too. Develop the personal relationship with one or more of the elders. That involves visiting and sitting and responding when you feel them call you. Then you can connect with other people and their tree elders and meet their tree elders. And then, of course, there's also that opportunity to unite and co-create, to create a ceremony, a new ceremony. And this is something that came up in our discussions as well, is that, many, many cultures have their own ceremonies already. But what kind of ceremony would we create if we agreed to come together from all our cultures and make a new one? And we had the tree elder with whom we're going to do the ceremony, of course, have a voice in that ceremony that's created. So we're after something that really hasn't ever existed before, but is calling each of our hearts to come together in unity with our tree elders, around our tree elders. And then the last thing I want to share, when you spoke about that spiritual force, Ejna, is like, remember, all of us, the mycelium community, the largest community on the earth is the mycelium and the microbial community that live under the ground, and they connect every tree and every plant across Mother Earth. So and the heart of the tree lives in its roots. So that's underground. Then we have the majesty and the inspiration of their beauty above ground, right? And reaching up into the sky.
Yeah. So we're going to host a follow-up gathering on October 4th, and we're going to post it on our Facebook site. And we don't have it yet, but we're going to be putting together a website very quickly, because we know we need to have much more communication with people. A lot of people are not on Facebook. So the website will be another means for this. And it's something we want to co-create with all of you. This is not up to Danielea and I alone by a long shot. And all of us are pretty darn busy right now. So to make this, it is already, I mean, there's been so much nurturance and joy and flow that's been present here. And this is, if we just keep moving forward in this way. So, okay. So join us on October 4th. Maybe we could have our Facebook site so that we could, people can.
I shared it already. I actually
You
did already.
did? Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
And
Becky.
then, Danielea, if you'd like to talk about this too. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. What you were just seeing there was the gratitude ceremony of humans and nature elders. So that's happening this Saturday. It's day 99 of the 99 days of peace through unity towards a thriving world for all of life. The ceremony is happening from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific. And everyone is invited because we are taking this opportunity to go in heart to heart as we've done today with particular nature elders and to speak our gratitude to them, what for, with each other. And then we have a special event where we're going to be singing and moving to a piece of music called the Love Chord, and to literally offer our love and gratitude to all the relatives. So the other thing I wanted to say is that Ejna and I really came together for the partnership ceremony of humans and nature elders, which called me here to Northern Vancouver Island, and that happened on June 18th on day 1. So this gratitude ceremony is the completion of this little first cycle of 99 days, which is actually going to continue for another year for all of us. So you're very welcome. We'll put the Facebook event link into the chat. And also I wanted to say, if you go to www.thelisteningfield.life, you will see that we have a listening field tomorrow for International Peace Day, just to amplify and anchor the energy as we've done today so beautifully with Ejna. And then on Saturday, we have the gratitude ceremony, which again is part of this sacred reciprocity that is returning between ourselves and our great standing ones.
So we're going to close. I'm going to say just a couple of words, and then Danielea will bring some song tones and this thankfulness for this time together. So thank you. Thank you, all of creation, creator, trees, nature elders, Unchimaka. We're just getting started, and we're partnering with you. Yes, yes, we say yes. Asho, ashe, aho, amen. Amataku yase.
Om tare tu re so ha. Until we meet again, standing ones. Om tare tu re so ha. Along with the humans who love you and whom you love. Om tare tu re so ha. Om tare tu re so ha. Thank you, beloveds. And I will just tell you too that that 8-minute track of that music is available for download. I'm going to put that link in the chat. It's on Bandcamp under my name. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you.
Thank you for everyone who is watching us on the live stream. We want to remind you, this is our day within Peace Week as we are leading up to the 99th day of Peace Through Unity, which is this Saturday. And we want you to register. If you're finding this broadcast, please register at peaceweek.org so we can send you once a day emails inviting you to navigate through all of the beautiful programs that are coming together here in Room 1 and in 12 other convergence rooms this week. So we're so grateful for the gift of your sacred presence and your witness. And thank you so much to Grandmother Ejna and to dear sister Danielea for this beautiful program and this just this deeply touching connection. Thank you all for joining us.